Hi, this is Dr. Jeanine Joy, and today we're going to talk about increasing our ability to control our behavior the smart way. And this is going to cover, it's a fairly brief video, and it's going to cover a way to increase your ability to exert willpower or self-control without actually using willpower or self-control. And this is a really important concept because self-control is a depletable resource. It's just the same way your muscles become fatigued when you use them, self-control is depleted. And as you use it throughout the day, your ability to exert control later in the day declines. So a way to achieve the behaviors you want, avoid the behaviors you don't want, that doesn't use a depletable resource is a very valuable tool. And the way this particular tool works is increasing your ability to be authentic. And authentic behavior does not require self-control. In order to make it so that you can control your behavior without exerting self-control, you have to do something that's called belief change. And it really involves changing who you believe you are. Now pause for just a minute and think about, who do you think you are? And then think, why do I think I am who I think I am? The answer to that is you've simply thought thoughts about who you are frequently enough that you formed a belief. It's nothing more than thoughts you have repeatedly thought, or sometimes it's things you were repeatedly told. Beliefs are formed by traveling the same neural pathways in your brain over and over again. So you can create any belief you want simply by thinking the same thoughts repeatedly or saying the same words repeatedly, because that creates neural pathways in your mind. It does not matter how old you are. Brains have what they call plasticity, which is the ability to change. And the old myth about you can't teach a dog new tricks is exactly that. It's a myth. We scientifically know that brains can change as long as we are alive. So when most of us approach human change, when we want to change something about ourselves, when we want to do something different or not do something that we've been doing, we typically try to use willpower or self-control, which starts with that red circle that is our behaviors. And then we try to develop skills. We try to match our words to the behaviors we want. We try to make our emotions support the behaviors we want. And then when you get down to the level of who are we, our identity, well, that's way deep in the circle. So let's say, for example, you want to start exercising, but you don't consider yourself athletic. You don't consider yourself a person who exercises. Maybe you think of yourself as a couch potato or just somebody who's not fit. Well, that identity conflicts with the behaviors you want. And everything in this circle, when it is moving outward, it is far stronger than any pressure that can be exerted from things from the outside moving towards the center. You'll notice at the very center of this circle are our beliefs. So if we develop a belief that we are someone who is an exerciser, for example, then our thoughts will support being who we believe we are. We will self-identify that way. We will feel positive emotions when we are who we believe we are. Our words we will match. We will develop skills that support who we are, and our behaviors will reflect who we believe we are. So the easy way to change our behavior is to change our belief first. That starts in the mind. It starts with directing our thoughts so that our thoughts create neural pathways that create a belief about us being someone we want us to be. And it takes a while to create new neural pathways. 6 weeks if you're very consistent. And by very consistent, thinking the new thoughts 60 to 80 times a day. If you're doing it less than that, it will take longer. If you have a strongly held belief that conflicts with it, it may take a little bit longer still. But when you think about how many years have you tried to change your behavior, maybe every New Year's resolution, or maybe every bathing suit season, or maybe every holiday season, or whatever it is that you are wanting to change. How many times have you tried and not succeeded? When you start with the beliefs, you will succeed as long as you continue building those neural pathways until they become your dominant belief. Even some of the most difficult things in the world, becoming a non-smoker, it's not difficult if you start with the beliefs first. The innermost changes occur with beliefs, and then they extend outward. When your behavior is consistent with your beliefs about who you are, your behavior is authentic. It does not require self-control. Your beliefs and your mindset go hand in hand. Where you make the changes in those concentric circles determines how reaching the changes extend. When you just try to change your behavior or your environment, it doesn't impact the root, and eventually that root is going to win. You don't have to figure out why you believe what you believe about yourself. In most cases, those beliefs were formed before you were 10 years old. You don't need to know what they are to negate them. You can create the beliefs you want to believe about yourself and go on from there. Decide what it is you want to believe about yourself, and then use your emotional guidance, which we're not talking about on this video. I write about it in all my books, but that really helps you move in the direction that is going to lead you towards your highest and best potential. And then you want to reinforce your preferred beliefs by thinking about them repeatedly over a period of time. Again, 6 to 8 weeks is pretty consistent when it is something that you're doing all the time. You can change those beliefs that quickly. This is a strategy that comes in with belief change. And it's about defining. So if you ask an author who writes fiction books how they develop the dialogue for the character that they're writing about in their book, the best authors will say, I don't. I define who the character is. And then the character creates the dialogue. And when you think about it, if you believe that you are a good athlete, the thoughts you think, the words you say will reflect that. So when you define yourself in a certain way, your thoughts and your words and your actions all reflect that belief. We can define ourselves the same way a fiction writer defines the characters in their books. Once we do, and we create that belief that that is who we are, we will start behaving in those ways. It's one of the dangers of labels. If you've been given a label, if you've been given a label, let's say, of somebody who has social anxiety or problems with anger or depression, or that you're slow, or that you're not a good athlete, any number of things, If you accept that label, you're defining yourself. Now, labels are fine for understanding where you are, but when you apply them as a definition of who you are, they can really limit you. You want your beliefs about yourself to be empowering. So let's say, for example, somebody's depressed and you've labeled yourself as I'm depressed. And start shifting that around and saying, I am someone who can learn new things. And I experienced depression, but I am not defined by my depression. I am capable of learning things that will help me overcome it and move forward with my life. Do you see how that feels different than accepting a label? Because a label defines you. And other than for making conversations a little bit easier, almost all labels distort meaning. So start rejecting your labels. Start being the unique, wonderful individual that you are, and be the one that you want to be. In this diagram, your beliefs about who you are this big bull elephant. And it doesn't matter how much willpower you exert or how many good reasons you have to change. If you don't change your beliefs about who you are to sync up with who you want to be, your existing beliefs will win. You have to change the beliefs first. My book, Mental Health Made Easy: Maintain and Restore Your Mental Health, Develop Healthy Habits of Thought, is the smart way to permanently reduce stress. Includes this belief change strategy and dozens of other strategies that help you reduce stress. Now, why is it called Mental Health Made Easy when it's about stress reduction? All the research shows that chronic stress is the precursor to poor mental health. So if you want to maintain good mental health, or you want to recover from a label for a mental illness, you have to learn how to reduce your stress. How does this tie into willpower and being authentic? If you're exerting willpower to control your behavior, it's stressful. If you, on the other hand, define yourself as someone who behaves the way you want to behave, and you repeat that until it's a belief, you don't need willpower, and it's not stressful to be the person you want to be. This book is available on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, booksamillion.com, which is BAM.com, and other booksellers. If you would like more information, you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Quora, and Facebook. I hope this was helpful to you. Have a great day.